Minister, the first thing I want to do today is actually recognise the work of Patricia or Trish McPhillips. She retired as principal of Coolmine. She told us that she came for 1 year, and I think it's testament to the ethos and the culture of Coolmine Community School that she stayed for so long. And I know how special that culture and ethos is because my mum taught in the school as well. Trish is a principal that put her heart and soul into Coolmine Community School and has left her mark on the lives of thousands of young people in our community and them on hers. And I want to thank her very sincerely for her service. I think it's sad that she's leaving with the saga of the roof ongoing, which I'll outline today. And whatever is said today, I think we should all agree it's not safe or sensible that there are buckets as a permanent feature on school corridors. The busiest thoroughfare in the school, you have 1,000 pupils moving classrooms every 40 minutes. So this is a very serious health and safety issue that the school has been living with for 2 years. So just in terms of the timeline, in 2014, the school got a new roof. In 2016, it needed refurbishment. And in 2022, the leaks began again, and that began the presence of the famous buckets. In this time last year, they started their process of applying for emergency works. In April, revisions were requested, which the school did, and they applied again for emergency works, costing €133,000. And just recently, that has been rejected again, on the basis that the school should, I believe, revert to the 2016 contractor, which the contractor, I don't believe, did a satisfactory job on the roof. But at the same time, it's a very difficult position for the school to take on the chasing of a contractor while the school lives with the disruption and the potential, what could potentially happen in terms of safety for their pupils and staff. So I think that that decision should be revised, and that the emergency works should be authorised, and that this work can take place. I have seen a letter from the trustees of the school that has met with the Board of Management in relation to the works. They put together a very compelling case, and then the last paragraph of their letter simply says that perhaps the school has passed the point of this existing building being fit for purpose. And I would actually say that that's not a may, it definitely has. And in fact, this school was due a new school building 25 years ago, and it never materialised. Meanwhile, down the road, there is a new school building that has cost in the region of 30 million. While my research has shown that in terms of capital works for the school over the last 10 years, it has seen an investment of 3.5 million. All the school is asking for, Minister, is 133,000 to deal with a legacy issue that must be addressed. Thank you.
Okay. Cormagot, and just before the Minister comes in, I'd like to welcome Drum Tariff Active Retirement Group to the public gallery. They're here as guests of Deputy Michael Moynihan, and I hope you have a wonderful day here in Leinster House and enjoy your visit. Minister.
Thanks very much, Cathaoirleach, and I also would like to welcome all our guests joining us in the Shannon Chamber today. Back to more serious issues, and I just want to thank Senator Currie for raising this important matter in relation to Coolmine's Community School. I'm taking this commencement on behalf of Minister Norma Foley. in relation to the funding under the emergency works scheme for roof works. And I also just want to acknowledge in your opening statement former Principal Trish McPhillips and I suppose the wonderful service she has given to her community and the impression she has left on many young people's lives. So just to acknowledge that here today as well. In the script I have been given, I will just outline in relation to some of the background and should explain firstly that the purpose of the emergency works scheme is to provide funding specifically for unforeseen emergencies or to provide funding to facilitate inclusion and access for pupils with special needs. An emergency is deemed to be a situation which poses an immediate risk to both health, life, property or the environment, which is sudden, unforeseen and requires immediate action. In the case of a school, if not corrected, would prevent the school or part therefore from opening. The governing circular in this regard is 068 of 2020, which provides additional information on the scheme and may be usually reference point for the school in question. Delivery of this scheme is managed on a devolved basis by the relative school authority, and as part of our digital strategy and streamlining arrangement, the Department of Education applications for emergency works can now be made via its online portal called ISNET. The school in question, Coolmine's Community School, submitted an application for funding under the EWS for significant works on a flat roof section of the school and replacement of a high-level window just under the roof area in order to address issues of water ingress into the school building. The application was made in October 2023. And as part of the emergency works scheme application, it was noted that the roof refurbishment works were completed on the flat roof area in question in 2016 and that there had been consistent issues with water ingress in the area since the completion of these roof works. Following an analysis of the technical area within the EWS team, it was determined that the works being sought under the EWS did not fall within the remit of the EWS and therefore the application was rejected. It was recommended that the school's Board of Management revert back to the original design team and the consultant and contractor requesting clarification on why the current flat roof had failed so soon after completion of the aforementioned works. In respect to the decision to reject the application, the department should note that the option is open to the school to appeal the decision via the online portal. The basis of the appeal should include additional relevant information that was not previously provided to the emergency works team as part of the original application in order to allow for additional analysis and additional factors to be included in the appeal decision. And Senator, I would ask that maybe you go back, and I'm sure that the school itself, its board's management, have exhausted all areas. But again, this is the department's process and on the basis of the circular that has been presented.
Okay, thank you, Minister. Senator Currie.
Thank you, Minister. I think this is an example of why schools are so frustrated with the workings of the Department of Education. They applied for this a year ago, and an emergency is deemed to be a situation which poses an immediate risk to health, life, property or the environment, which is sudden, unforeseen and requires immediate action, and in the case of a school. So this is me standing here saying that buckets in the busiest thoroughfare of the school for the last 2 years does represent a risk to health and safety, and if that ongoing leak is not fixed and there was an issue with the roof, it would indeed create an emergency and the school would most likely have to shut down. It's a year since they made the application, and the response that they get is to go back to the original design team, the consultant and the contractor. Why would it have taken that long, firstly? And secondly, it's just not practical. The emergency has to be dealt with. I think the school has most likely gone back to the contractor already to try and get it fixed. But we need a twin-track approach here, a little bit of common sense coming from the department in dealing with what is an emergency situation and needs to be rectified as soon as possible. Thank you, Minister.
Thank you very much, Senator Currie. Minister.
Yeah. Thanks very much, Senator, and certainly you've made a real compelling case here, advocating on behalf of both the Coolmines community school, but also the students, the teachers, the staff that actually have to deal with this on a daily basis. And I would take all the information that you have presented here today back to Minister Foley. Certainly would feel that this case is exceptional going into the winter months, and the need to rectify this situation on the basis that we will have inclement weather conditions over the next number of months. And I've no doubt that the school, if they provide some additional information, that the department itself would look at the appeal under the EWS scheme and may review it on the basis of the additional information that has been provided.